You pull a pint from the freezer. The container feels rock solid, but your spoon glides through like the ice cream's been waiting. Same freezer that turned the steak next to it into a brick. Same -18 degrees. So why does ice cream stay soft? Your freezer isn't broken. That pint was engineered to defy the laws of freezing, and the process started over 2,000 years ago with servants hauling snow down mountains for royalty. Around 400 BCE, Persian royals craved cold desserts in the desert heat. They sent runners into mountains to haul back snow, mixed it with rose water and fruit to create faluda. Servants packed the mixture into metal containers surrounded by snow mixed with salt. Something strange happened. The salt made everything colder than snow alone. The mixture froze while staying somehow scoopable. The Persians had stumbled onto freezing point depression without knowing the chemistry. Centuries later, Chinese emperors used the same trick with buffalo milk. King Tang of Shang kept 94 icemen on staff to keep royal desserts cold. The process was grueling and expensive. Frozen desserts remained royal luxuries for over 1,000 years. But the manufacturing principle, salt plus ice, equals colder than ice, that discovery changed everything. Modern ice cream factories start with liquid cream, milk, sugar, and stabilizers heated to 180 degrees Fahrenheit for pasteurization. The hot mixture enters a homogenizer, a machine that forces it through tiny holes at extreme pressure. Fat globules from the cream shatter into droplets smaller than bacteria. 1 gram of finished ice cream contains over 1 trillion of these microscopic fat particles. Without homogenization, the fat would clump together and completely ruin the texture. The mixture then cools and rests for at least 4 hours. During this aging period, fat crystals begin forming inside each tiny globule. Proteins wrap around them like protective shells. Nothing has actually frozen yet, but the mixture is being carefully prepared for what comes next in the process. Freezing happens in a machine called a barrel freezer. Picture a metal drum surrounded by refrigerant at -30 degrees Celsius. Inside, a spinning blade called a dasher scrapes the walls constantly. Liquid mixture touches the frozen wall and crystallizes instantly. The dasher scrapes those crystals off before they can grow large. Speed matters enormously here. Commercial machines freeze a batch in under 10 minutes. Home machines take 45 minutes or longer. That extra time allows crystals to grow bigger, which is why homemade ice cream often tastes grainier than store-bought. As the dasher spins, it also whips air into the mixture. This air, measured as overrun, becomes the key to understanding what you're actually paying for. So the factory creates tiny ice crystals, microscopic fat globules, and billions of air bubbles all suspended together. But why doesn't everything freeze solid once it reaches your home freezer? The answer is sugar. When sugar dissolves in water, its molecules physically block water from linking into ice crystals. At -18 degrees, roughly 28% of the water in ice cream remains liquid. Not frozen, liquid. This unfrozen syrup coats every ice crystal, preventing them from bonding into a solid mass. Same principle that puts salt on winter roads. Different application, identical physics. Persian servants discovered it by accident 2,000 years ago. Modern food scientists calculate it with precision. The journey from factory to freezer reveals something manufacturers would rather you not notice. That pint in your hand might not be a pint at all. In 2009, Haagen-Dazs quietly reduced their containers from 16 ounces to 14. They still call it a pint on the shelf. It isn't. Tillamook dropped from 56 to 48 ounces in 2021. You lost a full cup per carton without the price changing. The half-gallon your parents bought? Now 48 ounces, not 64. Same shelf space, same price, 25% less ice cream. Here's how to fight back at the store. Pick up 2 brands of the same size container. The heavier one has less air and more actual ice cream. Premium brands weigh noticeably more because they pump in less air. Your hand becomes a quality detector. Here's the part that surprises everyone. The industry categorizes ice cream into 4 tiers based entirely on one metric: how much air is pumped inside. Economy ice cream hits nearly 100% overrun, meaning half the container is literally air. Regular brands like Breyers run 50 to 100%. Premium stays under 50%. Super premium keeps overrun under 25%. The FDA only requires ice cream to weigh 4.5 pounds per gallon minimum. Anything lighter is legally still ice cream, just half filled with air you're paying for by volume. Those 4 quality tiers never appear on any packaging. No company labels their product economy grade, but your hand already knows the difference when you pick it up. What looks like simple frozen dessert is actually 4 phases existing simultaneously. 30% ice crystals providing structure, 50% air bubbles providing texture, 5% fat globules providing creaminess, 15% sugar syrup providing scoopability. Ice crystals measure 30 to 50 micrometers across. Air bubbles measure 50 to 80. Fat globules are smaller than 1 micrometer. All this invisible architecture was built by the barrel freezer, preserved through careful temperature control, and designed to perform at exactly your home freezer temperature. 2,000 years of process refinement compressed into every pint you buy. Next time you find that container perfectly scoopable, you'll understand what you're actually holding. Not just frozen cream, but a 4-phase emulsion engineered to stay soft at temperatures that freeze everything else solid. Persian ice runners, industrial homogenizers, barrel freezers, and calculated air ratios. All of it working together so your spoon glides through. But now you also know to check the weight before you buy. Which do you reach for? The lighter cheap stuff or the heavy premium?